The player must match certain criteria to be considered a franchise quarterback: consistency, talent, leadership maturity, and football intelligence. Consistency. In order to be a franchise quarterback or to find one, the player needs to be able to perform a certain level at all times. Do the 49ers have themselves a franchise quarterback? Do they have themselves three franchise quarterbacks? We're going to talk about it right here on the Wayne Breezie Show with the one and only John Chapman right after this.
Breezy this, breezy that. They know I'm gold-blooded. I got the Niners on my back, you know. Breezy this, breezy that. Ain't nobody working like Breezy, and that's a fact.
John Chapman is in the building. What's going on, baby? It's your boy Wayne Breezie. Welcome to the Wayne Breezie Show with John Chapman. Hey, what's going on?
I love it, man. This is becoming a little bit of a tradition,
and
I'm pumped today, man. I even wore my shirt. I wore my shirt.
I see.
For this day because I think we're going to have a good time. It's going to be a blockbuster.
It's going to be a blockbuster. Speaking of blockbuster, John, I heard a rumor that Blockbuster is supposedly trying to reopen, and I can't figure out what they're going to sell.
I don't either. I
Streams?
I don't know. I hope it's true. The 90s child in me. I mean, was there a better time than getting in the car or riding your bikes, what we used to do, and going to Blockbuster, and you would literally pick up the movie, turn it around, read the back, put it back, go to the game section. Man, it was just wonderful.
So you skipped straight from the movies to the game section like I did too.
Yeah, it was. I was walking out of there with at least one movie and at least one game every time. Every time.
I mean, if they do bring Blockbuster back, I can't figure out what they're going to rent because everything is streamable now. But maybe it's game. I mean, you can even stream games. You just get an Xbox Live Pass and you're good to go. I don't know, but if Blockbuster comes back, I'll be the first person in there early. Shout out to everybody, man. The Breezie's Bunch is in the building. Foghorn for the Breezie's Bunch. I see Peachy Brown in the building. She says, good morning, Wayne and John and the BB crew. I like that. The BBC. Let's have a great show today. Boss is in the building. Good morning, Niner fan. We have two franchise quarterbacks. The question is, what do we do with the extra one? So that's what I love about Boss. He always has the show planned. I put out a show and he has his own show in mind. I love it, man. Don't ever stop, Boss. Ever stop. Jedi. Y'all see or hear the Brock Purdy interview on Rock and Monarch. I guess that's how you say his name, or Monarch. He's doing range of motion. Knows it's a long, painful road ahead. We'll talk about that. All right. It's on YouTube. Shout out to Jedi out there. Mike Ing is in the building. Shout out to my man Mike, too. He is been a member for at least 2 months. So he's been a member for 2 months. You get the DJ Horns. You know what I'm saying? Nia's in the building as well. Good morning, Faithful John and Wayne. Happy Friday. Christy Marie, good morning. Happy Friday, y'all. Troy's in the building. Good morning, Breezy and John. BB, hashtag BB, hashtag CC. That's what I like to see. All the Breezy Bunch of members in the building. Shadow Vision, what's going on? I'm trying not to miss anyone on that morning. BB shout out. Marty Marr, 49er Empire is in the building. What's going on, Playboy? Miss Debbie is in the building. She says, good morning and happy Friday, Wayne and John. Blessings. I don't know why John's put on a scarf in California, but blessings to everyone joining this morning. Remember to hit that like button, y'all. Ronnie 33 is in the building. Happy Friday, everyone. Let's go. Let's go, Ronnie. I hope Friday is doing well. And we have another member shout out that's been a member for 44 months, Eddie G. Call him Eddie G and the Bulldogs. What's going on, Eddie G? Thank you for being a member. And to everybody that's streamed and watching right now, we truly appreciate you. Don't forget to hit that like button. All right. Don't forget to comment in the comment section. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. All right. Make sure you guys go ahead and do so. Also, you can become a member of the Breezy's Bunch. All right. All you got to do is click the join button, baby. And it's on and popping. And John, before we get started, all right, we have our first super chat contribution all the way from across the land or the lakes. My man Colin, is it Snedden? Snedon?
Oh, I ain't playing with that one. I don't
Amy?
know. It's awesome though.
It's
Whatever it
awesome.
is.
Edinburgh, Scotland. Scotland. Yes.
Oh, that was good. That was
That was
good.
pretty good, right?
That's
That,
good.
that,
That's
that was
good.
pretty good. I try not to impersonate other people's you know what it is, John? I
Yes.
want to be an actor. And in order to act, if you're American, you got to pick up different dialects because I feel like the English actors have Americans down packed. You know, I can't tell that they're British until they actually talk for real. But when they're acting, man, they got the American accent on point.
Yeah. And the very first time you ever invited me on your show, Way, I don't know if you remember this. I said, you need your own damn TV channel.
You did. You did say that.
Like it's where you belong, man. Camera got to be on all the time. We'll be eating, and Wade be like, "I got to go live." I mean, cheese sticks. Like he's like, "Here, hold my phone." Okay.
Cheese sticks go down though, man. You got to get the Sargentos or the Tillamook cheese stick, the cheddar joints, Kobe Jack, however you want to do it, man. Them joints go down. Y'all gonna stop cutting on my cheese sticks, man. Them joints go down. I'm telling you, John. But thank you for the super chat contribution, John. It's good to have you here, because this is what I love about having you here on Friday. We get to actually recap the week. Hopefully, all of our emotions are checked before we join the show. A lot of news went down this weekend. Let's just do a quick recap, John. Where you want to start with the recap before we introduce some of the new stuff?
Well, I'll say this. Social media is a beautiful thing. Obviously, you and I are there all the time. This is kind of what we do for our careers now. And it's wonderful because the community, all these awesome people in the chat, YouTube, Instagram, all those things are great. However, sometimes the machine takes a life of its own and twists narratives a different way, and people run with headlines without watching the actual press conference and the quotes and all those things. And I just want to say this. There was not much new news that came from the press conferences this week. I don't think that much changed with the quarterback situation really at all. Besides the fact, if I had to encompass everything in just a few short phrases, the 49ers love Brock Purdy, rightfully so. Trey Lance is going to get his chance. That's where I kind of walk away from all the press conference stuff with the quarterbacks and all that stuff. Everything's going to work out organically long term. Not too concerned about most of those things.
I mean, you're right. I think it wasn't necessarily breaking new news. It was more of a confirmational type of new news, right? Because we knew, John, at the end of the season, the way Brock Purdy was playing, we knew if this kid stayed healthy, not even if he won the Super Bowls without a doubt, but we knew, John, if he stayed healthy, he was going to be the starting quarterback. And we were just trying to figure out how the other cards are going to fall. Does that revert to Trey Lance becoming the backup guy, which we thought was going to happen, and to me, until they signed Sam Darnold. So it kind of made it like interesting. But I like the way you capped that off with saying that Lance is going to get his chance. That's what I believe. That's what they said. I'm going to go with what they said. I know they're doing things that are making you go, I get it. They're doing little things, but I do believe Kyle cleaned it all up during his meetings, and Lance is going to get a shot, not necessarily to regain that first role, but just the shot, right? Because that's all he needs, right? That's all Lance needs is a chance, and now he has to take that opportunity and blow. In the words of Eminem, what are your thoughts?
If I could sing like you, Wayne, I would have just did the best Hamilton impersonation of all time. Not going to miss my shot, right? But I can't do it. If I was cooler, that would have been the spot, man.
I feel like if I get you a couple of brewskis, it'll mellow out the vocal cords of yours, and you can sing Hamilton
man,
anytime you want. And you can
lots of being booed on karaoke stages will say alcohol will not help me. I'm just going to be honest.
But this is the thing. This isn't karaoke. This is the Wayne Breezie show.
There we go.
There it is. All right. So yeah, listen. Whenever I put the vocals on, I got to add a little reverb. So I check this out, John. So I'm excited that May is coming very shortly. It's literally around the corner. We're almost like a month and a couple of days away. after the draft, we'll break that stuff down. But when May comes, OTAs is here. That's considered phase one. All right, going into phase one, how confident are you in Trey Lance going into phase one and coming out of phase one as still the guy?
Oh, extremely confident. Because again, where has Trey's, we've only seen him for like what, 4 games, intermittently, and not even 4 full games, but we've seen the practice leaks that were put out there by Javi. Shout out to Javi. We've seen the arm strength, the mobility, all those things. It's not going to be until he's facing 6-man fronts.
6-man.
And is he able to mitigate getting hit? Is he able to check down repetitively? That's when the true test will come, and that's not going to be until the preseason games. So, yeah, the OTAs and everything are built for Trey Lance, and I'm not too concerned about that at all.
I like that. Niner Sickness Podcast. Shout out to you, man. If Trey Lance gets beat out by Sam Darnold, Twitter will blow up. What are your thoughts?
I would say Twitter already believes that that's happened. Love Niner Sickness, by the way. But like Twitter's already acted like it's a done deal. And I think that's crazy. The phrase that was, extrapolated to craziness, Kyle Shanahan was asked about Sam Darnold, Trey Lance. He said, yeah, they'll both get first team reps. And everybody was like, oh, it's a split. It's 50-50. Let me just say something for the record. There has never been an entire freaking OTA offseason training camp, whatever, where the number 2 quarterback didn't get first team reps in the history of the NFL. It has never happened. He didn't say it's 50-50. He said they will both get first team reps. That's happened every year since football started. Like 100% overblown on that thing. So I just pump the brakes just a little bit, peeps. Just a little.
Just pump the brakes a little bit. Now he did say split, so I hate to say that the word split like automatically defers to the 50-50. When you say something is a split, but it could be 70-30, it could be 80-20, it could be 60-40, it could be damn near 90-10. Split is a split. Doesn't matter. I just feel like it defers. When people hear the word split, John, it just automatically defers to like, oh my gosh, they're going to split reps 50-50. And nah. And I like the way you put that out there. It doesn't mean that. It just means that both quarterbacks are going to get chances with the first team's offenses going against the first team defenses, which is what you need to see, because you need to see how well Sam Darnold is going to do against the first team, the Fred Warners, the Mooney Wards, and all those guys. He could probably chuck it up and have a goddamn field day against team twos, but that doesn't help Sam Darnold. That doesn't give you great assessment as a head coach. So he needs to go up against the ones. When Jimmy Garoppolo used to go up against the ones, he was trash. I'm not trying to bash Jimmy.
Not a practice quarterback.
He just wasn't a practice quarterback. Thank John. You are the most colloquial, cleanup person I've ever met in my entire life, bro. Because I say trash, you say not a backup quarterback, but it means exactly the same thing. And that's why I need John on the show way more often, because people take my words and they take them to heart. That was the perfect cleanup, Jude. You're the cleanup batter. We got another super chat contribution for 49er Jeff.
Keep those super chats coming. Come on now.
Keep them coming, guys. Here we go. All right. So if Trey starts 4-0, does he lose his job when Brock is ready? Happy Friday, fellas. And hashtag BB. Also, I believe Darnold will start a game or two. We're cursed. Go ahead, John. You take it, baby.
If we're just sticking with the mantra that has happened with the 49ers since Kyle Shanahan showed up, if you play well after somebody's injured, you get the job. That's just the way that they have operated. That's the same reason why they say, Brock is the leader in the clubhouse. Trey got injured. Brock came in, played great. That's why he's the leader in the clubhouse, right? To use that phrase. I think if Trey goes 4-0, I don't think it would be, hey, we're bringing Brock back, but he's going to be backup. That's not the way they did Jimmy G either through the playoff run. They're going to keep him on ice for as long as possible, as long as Trey is playing well, before they bring Brock back. So if you're pinning me down to week 4, they're just going to say, hey, we're just going to make sure Brock's got all the time in the world and blah, 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 blah. But if they start 4-0, and let's just say the numbers were similar or comparable, the offense is as efficient or comparable to what Brock Purdy did, then I think that goes in. And I think Trey would stay the quarterback for week 8. That'd be a different discussion. But week 4, if they're 4-0, I think they roll with Trey.
I like that. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get down to some of the news. So we got some news out here.
I do have a timeout real quick before we move on, if
I
that's
wish I had
okay.
the timeout sound. Damn it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. I was waiting to put this in
Yes,
there because I
sir.
think it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the exact quote from Kyle Shanahan when asked about Sam Darnold getting reps.
Thank
I
you.
expect them both to get reps with the first team, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
The word
No
split was never used.
No split.
Not
All
out
right.
of Kyle Shanahan's mouth.
No split. I actually have the quote bite here, but I must have deleted it. No split. All right. So I mean, they're both going to
Doesn't
get
mean they
first team
won't, but
reps.
he didn't say that.
Right. That's right. He never said split. All right. Good point. Good point, John. Let's talk about the Debo Samuel. Today's payday for Debo Samuel. So
Oh, I love payday for anybody.
can we say
man.
cha-ching for
God,
Debo
makes me
Samuel
happy.
payday? He's guaranteed $14,035 today.
Think how many red shoes you could buy with that.
Well, maybe he's going to use that. So here we go. All right. So we were having this conversation earlier on the show, right? Because one of the new league rules is that players can wear the number 0. All right. And so Debo Samuel doesn't want to wear the number 0. He wants to wear the number 1. It's only going to cost him about $1.5 million to make the change. He just got 14 million ducats. He'll still be away with $13 million. Would you make the change? No.
$1 million is a lot of money.
Man, you so cheap, man. Listen,
I am.
can you imagine one problem instead of 19 problems?
No, 19's an ugly number. It's an ugly number.
It really is. All right, let's go through some 19s off the top of our head because I mean, one I can think of is Debo Samuel. So give me another number 19 in the NFL.
It's got to be a quarterback, right?
Right, because this was before 19 wide receivers could wear those numbers.
I think Kenny Golladay wore it for a while. That's not a good one.
No. No.
Let's see here. I'm doing a quick Google search. Johnny Unitas.
Okay,
no, that's not right. No, he didn't wear that. Yeah, Johnny Unitas.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Johnson, Lance
Keyshawn
Allworth,
Johnson.
Bernie Kosar, Juju.
Wait. Let's go back to Lance because he was a dominant wide receiver during his time.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen, Ted Ginn, Joe Montana wore 19 for a while before he went to 16.
Didn't know that.
Amari Cooper.
And
Tom Dempsey. Those are what Google pulled up. So
all right,
there we go.
So we got if we had to pick a top five that wore the number 19, it would be
Joe was predominant 16, but whenever
so
he first came to the league was 19. Johnny Unitas, Lance Allworth, those 200%.
Those are 2.
Debo would be 3.
And then I would go with
Keyshawn or Adam Thielen. I think they both had similar career.
All right, so let's go Thielen over Keyshawn, and then are we gonna go
Keyshawn or Kosar?
Oh, Bernie Kosar wore 19.
He did.
Damn. But what about the other 2 receivers? You said Juju and
Amari Cooper, Tom Dempsey. Tom Dempsey would be the guy probably, right?
Okay.
He was the kicker with the flat foot, I believe.
Okay. I would take Thielen over. So if we had to pick another wide receiver, I would take Thielen. Debo and Thielen will be.
I love exercises like this, man. I freaking love stuff like this. This is what we used to do as kids.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Before school, we're all sitting around talking trash about each other's teams, and somebody comes up with a topic, and then we just fight and we hate each other for the day until recess.
Yeah.
This
is what we used to do. That and collect Garbage Pail Kids cards.
I remember those bad boys.
I know you do, man. Yo, that was like those cards were like in HD before I knew what HD was. Like before it was even created. Them junks were superb crisp. If you guys don't know, and they had a movie. Remember the Garbage Pail Kid movie?
I do.
It was like one of the worst movies ever, but it was
awful.
Yeah,
we all went and saw it.
We did. We sure enough did. All right, so Debo's getting his payday.
Rent that thing at Blockbuster. That's what it's about.
Let's talk about 14 million ducats. John won't use $1.5 million on switching the number to 1. That's cool. That's John's prerogative. But
Wade's
I can see
judging me so hard right now.
No, because you started off saying you know how many pairs of red shoes you could get with it. So I'm like, bump the red shoes. Let me get my jersey number changed. It's just kind of like what I'm thinking. Since we're talking about paying a wide receiver $14 million, this means he's guaranteed that this year, and then the rest is incentive based and workout based and all that type of stuff, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So he's gonna, and he has up to, or he can earn up to what, 20 million this year?
So if you're just looking at his yearly cash, there's so many different numbers that you could go with: base salary, signing bonus, whatever.
Right.
But the yearly cash that he will be getting this year is just like 11.3.
Oh,
The
okay.
big guarantees go towards the future. So, like, for example, his cap hit this year is 8.6 million.
Oh, so
Debo, it's
next
cheap.
year is the 20 something million.
Next year is 28.5 million, and the following year, 2025, is 24.2 million. So
Good.
the big cap hits are next year and then the following year, 2025.
All right, so let's go ahead and switch gears a little bit and let's talk about the 49ers. At these owners meetings, John Lynch said that the 49ers do plan to use the the 5th-year option tag.
Fifth.
Oh, see, I told you could sing, and that's without the brewskis, right? The 5th-year option tag on wide receiver Brandon Ayuk, which will be for about 14 point something million dollars, which means next year, you hear what I'm saying? Next year on the books, the 49ers will have to pay Debo Samuel 20 plus million. And you got to count in the 14 million until they work out a deal. We can't say that they're going to work out a deal because we just don't know. But we're thinking that that's something that can possibly happen. Or let's talk about possible trade scenarios, because a lot of people do not want Brandon Ayuk to be traded, including myself, including John. But this is a business. And I have to ask you this question, John. Can you see the 49ers spending over $40 million a year on wide receivers?
No, but you don't have to. You
Okay.
don't have to. And
Okay.
here's why.
Mhm.
You pick up the 5th-year option, that's no brainer. 100% happening. That's 14 million, right?
Correct.
But what the 49ers have done with first round players like Nick Bosa, they're doing it this year. Brandon Ayuk will be extended next year before that cap hit happens. Just like Bosa's about to get extended before his cap hit happens. So that $14 million cap hit will drop down to about $6 million
Can we
once
pause?
he gets his extension done.
Let's put a pause on this, because when does the cap hit happen? That's what I'm like. When is that date?
So
Because
you
I
can
thought the number had to be in by March 15th.
So very similar. It's a hard cap, right?
Yes.
So just like with Bosa's cap hit right now is hitting, once he redoes his deal, so like the 49ers is sitting at like $2 million cap space currently, right?
Yes.
So they're good. But once they redo his deal, they'll go from 2 million cap space to like 14 million cap space.
Correct. That I get. I'm just saying, but does that have to be done as long as they're under the cap by
At
March
March 15th.
The rest doesn't matter.
That's correct. And then you'll be able to finagle it later.
Yes.
So yes, at March 15th, I do believe, just like with Nick Bosa's deal right now, they will be there. So at March 15th, they'll be at that number that you get. Was it 40 million? They will. But when the season starts, I think that's going to drop down to like 33, 34 million.
So, but here's the problem though, John, because if we look up and we pull up, they're going to be over the cap. So because you got to count in his 14 million, you got to factor in. We talk about March 15th. We're not talking about any other date. And so by March 15th, Trent Williams is getting 20 plus. Fred Warner is getting 20 plus. Nick Bosa is going to be getting whatever that number is, not this year to go down. So he'll lessen the cap this year, but it'll probably be like intermediate next year. It won't be high. It won't be high till like 2-3 years from now.
Correct.
So that might help. Debo is going to be 20 plus. And so I know the number is going to go up, but if the 49ers are sitting over the cap, then now you're going to have cap casualties by March 15th. You're going to have to let some people go.
I think that it will continue to kind of work itself out. You're talking about paying wide receivers, right? Well, guess what? Ray McLeod expiring contract this year. Juwan Jennings expiring contract this year.
How much is that costing you? Those are only costing you maybe $3-4 million.
Yeah, but I think that that's going to cover what it's going to cost, because
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, like that $4 million. I mean, what's Brandon Ayuk worth cap wise? I think he's worth about $15 million a year.
Correct.
Maybe more. And so you're going to be able to carry that number. I'm not too concerned about it. And again, we're going to be rolling forward money next year.
That's true. You're going to
get money
back.
Once they redo Bosa's deal,
there it is.
That cap will roll forward. So if you look at the adjusted cap numbers this year, the 49ers are third. They've got an extra $12 million to spend in cap this year because they roll forward every year. They're going to do that again next year.
Correct. And you get to get some money back based off of players not making their incentives
Mhm.
and things like that. So you're spot on. But let's talk about trade scenarios. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Brandon Ayuk. The 49ers, the draft is coming up soon. Do you see any trade scenarios with any players this particular year before the draft? Let's talk about just before the draft only. We don't care about after the draft because there will be a trade deadline, and I don't think we trade players. We actually trade for players. That's kind of weird.
Correct.
But yeah. Okay.
That's kind of the MO. If I'm looking at positions that the 49ers just have like a ridiculous amount of, just depth and whatever else where they could quote unquote afford to see somebody go, running back comes to mind. So I know people keep bringing up Eli Mitchell. Yeah, he's on a cheap deal, so every team would want him. The injury concern is going to drive his value down. So I could stomach that. Don't think it'd happen, but if I was picking somebody that they were going to trade, it would be Elijah Mitchell and then one of the defensive tackles. And again, it has to be cap friendly. So Armstead, not cap friendly in the trade. Hargrave, obviously not. But Kinlaw, perhaps. I don't think there's value there. I don't think teams are going to be paying very high for him. Givens would make sense. That makes sense.
Mm.
So if there's two players that I'm like, okay, because of positions, because of salaries that would be attractive to other teams, same reason why they're attractive to us, by the way, Kevin Givens,
Kevin
Elijah
Givens.
Mitchell. Those two would be the names that I would circle. Don't want to trade them. I'm not saying to trade them. I'm saying what other teams would look at our roster and say, that player could start for us. Those are the two names that come to mind.
So not only will the other team say, "Hey, that player can start for us," they're also cap friendly,
Yes.
so it won't
That
hurt
makes them
their
attractive to
pockets.
everybody.
Ah, so okay, that's fair. It's funny because we feel like when you look at the 49ers and you're saying like, oh man, what did they do in the offseason? Names for trades that come up, all right, are, I hate to say it, a player like Brandon Ayuk. Why? Because the 49ers do have to look forward to the future. And the question is, are they going to have two big time wide receivers getting paid number one money, technically, sort of, kind of? I know people don't like to talk about it, but it's a real topic, right? Because they can just
And
draft another wide receiver and keep replenishing it. But the fact that they moved up and traded up for him to get him in the first round helps the 49ers out a lot. Notice the things that they're doing, they're
yeah.
so on point. So that's a big thing. So I do feel like Brandon Ayuk will not go anywhere. There's also the other first round pick that year in Javon Kinlaw. Now they made it clear that they plan on using him this year. Do you possibly see him to be in some type of a trade scenario? He's only on the books for about $4 million, and he possibly can be a starter somewhere else.
So the question is, okay, what could you get for him? Maybe a fifth or a sixth. I don't know. Let's put that out there. Well, guess what? Allow him to play out his last year.
Correct.
And then what's he going to do? He's going to go sign somewhere else. Very similar to
Please.
Cleveland Farrell did with us, right? Just inverted. You're going to get a comp pick for that anyway. So why not? I don't believe in selling low. I don't like that. And so if you were going to trade Javon Kinlaw for a 6th-round pick this year, does that help this draft class? Is having 12 picks over 11 picks? You've already got a 6 and 4/7. I would much rather allow Javon Kinlaw to be a rotational piece and just see. Maybe he'll thrive in that situation. Maybe he won't. And then he moves on. He's going to get another contract because of his body, because of his draft pedigree, because of all those things, his size. He's getting paid somewhere. So next year, what did Cleveland Farrell get? $2.5 million?
Mm-hmm.
What Kinlaw going to get? 3? We got a comp pick for Solomon Thomas. Same thing. You let him play it out. He's a positive locker room guy, works his ass off all the freaking time. Like, he's not toxic by any stretch. Good dude with a great story. And this shows to your locker room too, man, we're going to stand by our guys. He's our guy. I wouldn't take that trade because, again, you'll get a comp pick the following year, more than likely.
Very well said. Very well said. So
I'm not good at clickbait stuff, Wade.
I'm not even trying to make up clickbait stuff. This is more like I just want to get your trade scenarios possibly for the San Francisco 49ers, and you gave them to me. I'm just giving you 3 names that kind of could be traded for the 49ers to, they kind of draft, they signed a player in free agency over him. I want Kinlaw to be here for whatever purposes, depth. I feel like he's gonna have some type of a breakout season. Anything better than what he's been giving me is breakout for me. And the fact that he's healthy, he's coming into camp healthy, he's going to be a rotational piece now. They made that clear. There's a possibility he can really show up and show out, which is great for him. You know why?
Yes.
Because next year he can go out and up his value and try to get paid a little bit more than a Cleveland Farrell guy or whatever or what like that as a rotational piece. So we'll see. You know, I'm all in on Kinlaw this year. I'm hoping the Niners are all in as well. Last trade scenario. We do have a plethora of quarterbacks, and I know we're talking about the quarterback situation. We're going to get into that a little bit next about the franchise guy. Any offer that will blow you away to trade one of these quarterbacks other than, I guess, Sam Darnold?
Yeah, it's going to be rough to trade Sam Darnold now. You just paid him, whatever else.
Yeah.
So you're talking Trey Lance. Like, again, if I'm not getting a top 12 pick, I'm not interested. I don't think that market exists.
No.
I'm not trading a healthy quarterback that I invested high in. Buy low, sell high. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's stupid. I mean, that's just what you got to do. And if you paid all that, what have you seen to tell you that he couldn't be it? I don't think we've seen that. Have we seen that he's a bust? No. We just ain't seen him play. Now you got a chance to see him play. And again, his capital, like whatever he is at now, Trey Lance, isn't changing next year. You still got him under contract next year, too. So that trade, whatever you would want to do for Trey Lance, you could do next year. If Brock was 100% healthy and you were just like, man, this is our guy for the future, all right, cool. We could have that conversation. But for me right now, is there a top 12 team that's willing to trade? You know, Houston's picking 12. Do they want to do that trade? I don't think so. So I don't think that it makes sense for a team because I don't think you're going to get the value you want. It doesn't make sense for the 49ers because he's a healthy guy. You just got to roll with Sam Darnold and, you know, some draft pick until Brock comes back. I do not want to do that. But if I got a top 12 pick, I would entertain the conversation. I don't like it, but that's where my price would be.
That's why we're here, man. I wanted to get your price. Big Papa says, why would Shanahan uninsulate his quarterback room? Think about it.
No sense. Not with the question marks of Brock.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. Again, it's not our job. Like, it's their job. It can make sense to, if they get a top 12 pick. We don't know what that number is. It could be a top 15 pick, be a top 20 pick. If they feel like they're all in on a Brock Purdy, even though he's not healthy, they might be really sold in on this Sam Darnold guy. I feel like Kyle Shanahan has been highly talking about Sam Darnold more than he's talked about Trey Lance. And so maybe he's all in. He's going to draft a quarterback or sign an undrafted guy or some type of other free agent. Clearly that's going to be another route because he said he wanted to go in there with 3 quarterbacks. He wanted to go into camp with 3 quarterbacks. Brock Purdy won't make the 3rd quarterback if he's not in camp. Even though he'll be there, he can't participate. So there's some interesting things going around. I mean, if they do Trey Lance, how are you going to go in there with 3 quarterbacks, right? So it's a lot of stuff going on. Go ahead, John.
If you traded Trey Lance right now, you would lose cap savings. It would cost you an extra $1.8 million to trade him against your cap.
Move. Yeah, not a good business move.
Help it make sense.
Unless somebody's willing to pay that within the trade. Because you can always work stuff like that. You can always ask for cash.
Very true. Very true.
So let's keep it a buck. I mean, I hate to say it, you know, players get traded for cash, and this is why, so they can pay off that little debt. You know what I mean? But it's not happening. So at the end of the day, Trey Lance, like you said earlier, is going to get his shot, which is going to lead us to our next topic before we get into this mock draft, John. And let's talk about the franchise quarterback. At the beginning of the show, I read the definition of a franchise quarterback. John, you and I have been watching football for over 30 plus years, and we've seen franchise quarterbacks all of our lives. Here's the question, John. Does the franchise quarterback even exist in San Francisco under Kyle Shanahan? Is he changing the game? What's going on? Because for some reason, why do I get this funny feeling Kyle Shanahan doesn't want a franchise quarterback?
I think that he does. The problem is, and I don't know if this is a problem. Let me just go on the record here. If you don't have a top 5 quarterback, I think you do everything you can to get a top 5 quarterback, period. Okay? And I think that's where this gets complicated with content creators and all these different voices out there, because everybody fell in love with Trey Lance, myself included, because he had the traits to be a top 5 quarterback. Would that pan out? We don't know. It hasn't yet, but he could be. Now you look at Brock Purdy, and man, you see what he did on the field, 30-plus points a game, exciting, just 8 straight wins, awesome. However, does Brock Purdy have what it takes to be a top 5 quarterback? Now we're kind of back to a Jimmy G light conversation. Because why was everybody ready to move on from Jimmy G? Can't throw deep. He's not mobile, right? All those different things. Brock is Jimmy G plus. Okay, so let me just say that. Brock in his first 8 games were better than any 8-game stretch of Jimmy Garoppolo's career thus far. I love Jimmy, but Brock is a step up.
Correct.
But is there a way for Brock, if you look at the top 5 quarterbacks, right? However you want to do that, with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, right? These types of guys, Herbert, can he be in that conversation? Can he have the deep ball that stretches the field vertically? He's got some good scrambling, 10-yard burst ability, things like that. And so this is the problem, right? And this is why people are clamoring for Trey, is he could be a top 5 guy just because of the traits. But at the end of the day, you got to play football. Do we have a franchise quarterback right now? We don't know. But what we do have is 3 decent dart throws. If the floor of our quarterback play is Brock Purdy, I'm the happiest man alive, and I think Kyle is too. And I think John Lynch likes Brock Purdy way more than Kyle. But the fact that you get this little extra bonus spin, if you will, with Trey Lance, just to see, I don't know. I don't think that we know who the franchise quarterback is now. Brock Purdy seems to be the guy long-term, but Trey's going to have a chance. I do not believe the 49ers know who their franchise quarterback is long-term currently. A lot of people would say it's Brock Purdy and in the conversation. Not so fast.
Yeah, I mean, Vince is saying franchise quarterback went 8-0 last year. How is he not the franchise guy?
Jimmy Garoppolo went 9-0 and not the franchise guy. So with the same coaching staff, same front office, all those things. I'm fine with Brock Purdy being the long-term guy. I have no issues with that, and I would love that. Yeah. However, I don't know. We've got to see it. We've seen quarterbacks come out and be hot early with Kyle Shanahan, and then things kind of slow down a little bit, right? So we crowned Jimmy after 5 games and paid him top-tier money. He kind of had to.
The market was at.
Had to.
Yeah.
The good news is the 49ers don't have to figure this out right now.
They don't.
It's going to figure itself out organically. That's the thing I keep going back to, because Trey's going to get a shot because Brock can't play. And whenever they're ready to bring Brock in because Trey is bad, Trey gets injured, whatever else, it's going to solve itself. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool.
And I get what you're saying. That's why I'm asking the question. Do the 49ers even care about having a franchise guy? If they're continuing to win games with these subpar quarterbacks, right? The ones that don't have all the traits of what a franchise quarterback is. If you don't have all the traits, you're not a franchise guy. You can win games a lot. Was Trent Dilfer a franchise quarterback? Didn't they win a lot of games in Baltimore that year? I mean, it doesn't matter if they won a lot of games. They won the damn Super Bowl, but people keep saying, oh, he was a game manager. He came in, okay, but they won the Super Bowl. So we got to be careful and really understand the concept of what the franchise guy is, because we know what it is. We've seen it before, right? Do we need that? Because I'm gonna go on a limb and say this, John. I don't think the 49ers need a franchise quarterback. They need a healthy
Kyle Shanahan.
They need a healthy quarterback. They need a quarterback that can stay healthy, that can play in Kyle Shanahan's system.
Stay healthy. We haven't seen that.
That's the first thing they got to be able to do is stay healthy. The second thing they got to be able to do is be efficient. Why? Because Kyle Shanahan sets up one play is setting up for 20 plays later. And so, we got to be great in the run game, which will set up our quarterback play action pass game. And I feel like all the quarterbacks we have on this roster, including Sam Darnold, who's the newest guy, is pretty damn good at play action pass. If you look at what we got, that's what they're good in. I think Trey Lance will be the best at it because he can take the deepest shots down the field once you get those guys biting. And we've seen it. But in order for that to be activated, we got to make sure that the run game is on par. But for these guys to be franchise guys, what if none of them are? What if
it's quite possible?
They're just going to utilize those rookie contracts, keep building the team, and Get another serviceable guy to come in here, and if we're winning, if we win a Super Bowl, do we care? Do we care if we have a Josh Allen? Do we care if we have a Patrick Mahomes? You know, that's the question.
And I love where the 49ers are. You know, people, it's funny. I always get messages like, man, do you love that there's always this controversy? I'm like, no, I don't want this. I'm tired of this offseason stuff. Like, I want to talk about O-line prospects and D-line prospects and how great this team is instead of just always quarterbacks. And I get that. And, you know, it's always going to be a point of contention until it is solved. But I like where the 49ers are. You know, Charlie Casserly, who was the general manager for the Texans back in the day when Kyle Shanahan was the OC there, he always had his phrase, and he always talked funny. He's like, the most important player on your team is your quarterback. The second most important player, the backup quarterback. Like,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, the Niners are in that situation.
Charlie Casserly.
I hope not. I don't know if he did. I disagree
okay, maybe
with
not.
that dude
I'm
on
hoping
everything.
not either. I didn't mean to say that. I just felt like I remember hearing that.
I'll look this up now.
Recently.
But anyway, he's still going strong. 74 years old. He's
good.
a New Jersey guy out in your territory.
There he is.
Anyway, I'll take that.
All right. And Bomber T says, listen, you can always draft another quarterback. People make it a bigger situation than it is. If you look at the San Francisco 49ers, John, how is this team built? I'm asking you, how has Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, Adam Peters constructed this team?
You draft elite defense, build an elite defense with offensive playmakers everywhere. That's it. And it's worked. It has worked amazingly well.
Can we? I don't know if we can say is. I feel like this should be allowed for us to say, because when they inserted Christian McCaffrey, the 49ers offense went to another level. But a lot of people are going to say it was Brock Purdy.
No, because we saw it with Jimmy G. Jimmy G had his best 3-game stretch of his entire career as soon as CMC showed up. And so that continued through the Brock experience, which was incredible. But even as well as Jimmy G, those 3 games with CMC were, Brock was better. Like, right?
Oh,
like,
no. This is not about who was better or not. I'm just trying to point out there was a key piece and a key factor. And we haven't seen that key piece play with Trey Lance yet.
Have not.
So that's why
George Kittle wasn't out there either for Trey Lance's games.
And so you got to have this. We got to be fair, and what we're saying, and as far as adding the context to the situation, because Brock was amazing. He was damn near immaculate. Hell, he went undefeated until he got hurt. You know what I mean? He went undefeated until he got hurt. And yes, there were times he had to go out there and will the team to a win. We got that from Brock. We got that in the Las Vegas Raiders game. You know, we got that in that Seattle Seahawks game where it just looked like the defense was just running out of gas at points in time. And we saw Brock keep plays alive, make plays, extend third downs. So he definitely has the gift. This is not about that. I'm just saying, with Brock being injured, and then you get Trey Lance coming in here, you're going to have to factor in, like, how well will Trey Lance be able to, will it help upgrade Trey Lance's ability to make plays on the field, having a Christian McCaffrey? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, it would help John Chapman if I was the quarterback.
You just throw the ball in his area. Hey, Christian, go find a way to catch this and make a play. Look, John, I like the topic about the franchise quarterback because, you know, Joe Montana, Steve Young, I feel like them were the only 2 franchise quarterbacks the 49ers have had over their tenure. Those were guys that won the Super Bowls. Does a franchise quarterback have to win a Super Bowl to be a franchise quarterback?
No, I don't think people understand. Like, okay, if you look at the drought the 49ers have had since the Super Bowl 1994 season, we're going through it live. We're doing watch parties every week. And remember, Steve Young was a franchise quarterback, right? We just watched the Eagles game week 5, 1994 this week, where he got benched. They got blown out 40-8 at home. They benched him. He's throwing a fit on the sidelines. He was a 2-time All-Pro before that game, and they went on to win the Super Bowl, right? So, like, social media today is going to blow everything out of control. It's just what it is, and that's okay. But even with like people are like, gosh, it's been so dang long since the 49ers have won the Super Bowl. We won it in 1994. There's 32 teams in the NFL. By statistical analysis, you should win it once every 33 years. We haven't even hit our average yet before the next Super Bowl. So as long as the 49ers win in the next 2 to 3 years, we are still at that level. Some teams never even make it to the NFC Championship. Cowboys haven't even made it to a championship game in freaking 28 years. The Cowboys. Like, so
And
I don't
that's,
know. I'm
I
gonna
mean,
calm
they've
down a little
had
bit.
Tony
Sorry.
Romo was a franchise guy.
I got a little
Dak,
upset there. I apologize.
Dak Prescott, I believe, is their franchise guy. So, I mean, and then Vince put this out there. Listen, Marino was one of the greatest franchise guys of all time and never won. So you can't be a franchise quarterback and not have a Super Bowl on your belt. It's all about how the definition that we talked about earlier. Like, are you a leader? Are you consistently winning games? Are you consistently upgrading the level of the play of the rest of your players? Are you consistently doing those types of things? You know what I'm saying? And if you are, you're considered a guy. Are they trying to build a team around you? So that's what I was trying to say earlier about the situation with the 49ers. They're not necessarily building the team around the quarterback. They're building the team, period. Can you come in here and make this efficient? Can you win with what we have? Some teams build around the quarterbacks. Look at all the quarterback wide receiver combinations we had going in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't know if Joe Burrow started that when he got Jamar Chase, but it just seemed like now Tua gets Waddle and they tried it out. What was the quarterback they tried it out with and it didn't work? Derek
Oh, the
Carr
Dolphins?
and Adams. I was gonna say
Yeah.
Carr and Adams just didn't
Yep.
work out, but they're trying to build teams around the quarterbacks, and it's just not working. I feel like the 49ers, as long as they consistently continue to win, and if we don't happen to win the Super Bowl, but we consistently continue to win, and the goal is to win the Super Bowl, but I
You'll
feel
get
like
there. They'll get there.
yeah, the only reason why we haven't won a Super Bowl, John, is because of the goddamn injuries. And we
Yep.
just didn't have Charlie Casserly's, but from his definition, we didn't have a better backup quarterback. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only reason why we're not in it.
We're going to be there. We're going to be there. And again, all the people that criticize Shanahan, which is hilarious, runner up for Coach of the Year 3 out of 4 years in a row. Like, just remember, Andy Reid took 20 years before he won a Super Bowl. 20 years. And so, like, when
That's
people
a big-
criticize Shanahan, they're like, well, Andy Reid and Bill Belichick. Well, guess what? Belichick has done nothing without Tom Brady. Nothing. Andy Reid never, he had some success with Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick, whatever else. Never won a Super Bowl without Patrick Mahomes. Back to your franchise quarterback talk. You're talking about two of the best coaches, highest rated coaches ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had to have the best quarterback in the game to win their Super Bowls. We haven't found that yet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on the roster.
Maybe it's on the roster. Maybe it is.
We got 3 doors to open.
And I need you to answer this question. John, can the 49ers win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy in your honest opinion?
Yes, I do. Will they win it because of Brock Purdy? I think that's a different conversation. But the 49ers could have won a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. They got pretty damn close to doing it.
They were in the Super Bowl with Jimmy, actually.
They were, but again, did they get there because of Jimmy? I don't believe so.
No.
Brock is a step up on Jimmy, right? So, yes, you could win the Super Bowl with Jimmy. You could win the Super Bowl with Brock, and I think your chances are better with Brock. We don't know. Trey's a wild card. Shout out to Always Sunny. Wild card. I think like 5 people got that reference.
They got that.
I can't say the second word. I don't know if I can cuss on Wayne's show.
You could definitely curse on the show. We're way past the mark. All right.
Wild card, bitches.
Oh, you gotta let me know though, so I just can hit that.
Oops, sorry.
I'm never gonna get it on time. Let's do these super chat contributions. That was a great segment, John. Appreciate that. The franchise quarterback. I do want to read these, and then we're gonna get into the mock draft. We're gonna do a 5-round mock draft with John Chapman. All right, here we go. Tyler Kerestley. I hope I said that right. Actually, that's a dope ass last name, by the way.
It is. It's clean.
Foghorn. I'm going to be honest. I don't trust this organization anymore at the quarterback position. We just love average quarterback or slightly better. I love this I love this because it does appear to seem that way, but we're getting above average play from these quarterbacks. You got, regardless of how Jimmy Garoppolo was or ended with the 49ers, he played above average, John.
Love Jimmy. I love Jimmy. Love him. But my thing is this, Tyler. They're trying. They were trying to get Kirk Cousins. They traded for Jimmy G. They traded up to go get Trey Lance. They were trying to get Matthew Stafford. They've drafted Brock Purdy to develop late. They just brought in on a super cheap deal Sam Darnold, former. Like, that's a thing. You're trying. I would hate to be a team that's happy with Jared Goff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that grosses me the hell out. I know everybody's like totally in on the Lions and whatever else. And hey, man, props to you guys. Don Burr, hope you're having a great time. I don't want Jared Goff and to just be cool with it. I don't want that. I don't want Geno Smith and just to be cool with it. Like, if I was Seattle, I'm drafting Anthony Richardson because, again, if I don't have a top 5 guy, I'm trying to get a top 5 guy with whatever I can at the quarterback position, period. And the Niners are trying. They're taking swings. And so the evaluation process, Tyler, which you're saying, you could totally disagree with. And I don't disagree with that. But at least they're freaking swinging. You know what I mean? I don't want to go down your full count looking at a damn ball going over the plate. It was opening day yesterday, right? Like,
yeah. Let's go, Mets.
Swing.
Sorry,
Swing.
Giants lost. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I know you hate I can't stand the Yankees either.
I hate the Yankees.
Yeah. But oh man, this is so spot on though. Think about it though. They are swinging. And Jed York said this too. Jed York spoke too, as well as the owner meetings, and he said, you know, hell, I don't care if we got to swing for a quarterback. And he didn't say these exact words, but he said, listen, the quarterback is the most important position, and we're going to make sure we address it when we need to address it. We have to take chances at it, and it don't work out, we're going to keep addressing it. That's basically what he said in a nutshell. If you didn't hear what Jed York had a chance to say, make sure you go ahead and check it out. I'll try to get the clip out there for you guys. But that lets you know that they're trying, John, like you just said. Oh, man, spot on. Let's get to his second contribution. He says, John and Wayne, I feel like Kyle gives up on players way too quickly on this team.
Shanahan is one of the players coach, like the most players coach in the NFL. Everybody that's played for Kyle, they're going to follow him, right? The Shanahan loyalty program. Now he demands a lot. And if you look at Ayuk is the pathway, right? The treasure map. Put him in the doghouse. Literally didn't even start week 1. Trent Sherfield started over him. But Ayuk responded, and now he's a freaking beast, dog, Frankenstein. Kyle Shanahan and Fred Warner turned Brandon Ayuk into a freaking beast. Yeah. That's why I don't think he's going anywhere. But also, it can happen. Does everybody make it through that portal? They do not. Matt Breida did not. Jerick McKinnon did not. There's lots of guys that do not. But at the same time, like, I think you're referencing the quarterbacks. I don't think he's given up on the quarterback, Trey Lance. I don't think he has. That's just my take. Again, did say split reps. He said both will get first-team reps. That's every training camp. They love Brock, and they should. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who else he gave up on.
But he didn't. Did he have to say split reps, John?
He didn't say split.
But he didn't have to say split, right?
We'll see. The proof will be in the pudding, as somebody said.
Because at the end of the day, John, the word split simply means split. It doesn't mean it's an even split. So
that's true.
Saying that they're both going to get reps is a split. It doesn't mean it's going to be 50-50. I'm just saying my whole thing was when people hear the word split, they automatically think that. Your thing was he never said split. I got you. But
well said. Well said.
Right. But saying that they're both going to get reps, I mean, in context means they're splitting reps. The question is, what's going to be the number? And like you said at the very beginning of the show, guys, go back and rewatch it if you weren't here. Every year the quarterback split reps. So what's the big deal? That's what they do. They take reps with the first team. So there's no big deal. At the end of the day. Tyler, thank you for the contributions. You got a few more coming in. Let's get to Christy Marie. She has a couple of here. She says, BBCC, loving this combo. We love you too, Christy Marie. Don't forget to put your artists and on the Discord. We got a Discord male R&B artist bracket getting ready to get started. And everybody that's on the Discord, 20 testers can participate, and everybody that participates have to pick one male R&B artist, and that's going to be really cool. So Christy, don't forget to check that out. And her second contribution says, we win in Super Bowl in Vegas. I can feel it. Can you feel it, John?
Man, this team's ripe for it. And the NFC got worse and worse and worse and worse. And so the path to the Super Bowl is easier than ever in the NFC. I can never remember a time. Like if you did power rankings of the top 10 teams, there might be 3 NFC teams in that. This team's built for it. You just got to have the quarterback position step up, whoever that is. I don't give a damn if it's Sam Darnold or Gary Kubiak going out there throwing passes. Let's make it work, baby.
Did you just give reference to a Kubiak other
I
than them
did.
coaching? All right.
We
Hey,
got
man,
2 Kubiaks on the staff. That's all I'm saying.
we got
Get
brothers.
dad out there, throw some passes.
Might as well. Look, you know what I'm most excited about seeing this year with Trey Lance? Him working with our quarterbacks coach, Brian Greasy, and him actually getting a good full on with him. I think he was gonna improve it, prove him last year. And you heard Kyle Shanahan say that we felt like Trey was definitely gonna be the guy. He just needed more time to get into the rhythm. You would have started seeing some of these other plays, but it just didn't happen that way. Like fate didn't allow it to. You know what I mean? And so I'm excited to see that how that goes down. Christy has a couple of more contributions in here, Johnson. We'll read her last
She's the
one.
best, man.
Yeah,
She's the best.
she says join the Discord last week, and I'm loving it. Join, guys. So she's telling everybody.
It's community,
She
man.
contribution for you guys to join the Discord, guys. So make sure you join the Discord. The link is in the description of the show, and it's probably somewhere in this stream as you're watching it live. Let's get to Jax Knox contribution. John, right. I'm not spending $1 million for a number, period. I call it bullshit. But yeah, John.
I love numbers. I love numbers. But I ain't spending that much of my money. NFL short term, man. NFL stands for not for long.
Been $1
And
million,
the way Debo
John.
plays, I don't know if he's getting another monster contract or not. I hope he does.
He's definitely getting another monster contract. He's going to get one more. That's why he signed that 3-year deal. He's going to get one more, and then he could ride off into the sunset. We know how we go. I mean, if he has to stay healthy. Looks good out there. It's working out like a mug.
Man, $1 million, I could get a nice shed out here in California.
Damn, it's that expensive?
It's pricey, bro.
Jeez.
It's pricey, man.
Godly. That's crazy. Eddie G says, love this duo. 49er brain trust. Love y'all. And to the faithful, be patient. I know it's hard. Pause. See how he inserted the pause after hard? I'm just trying to teach John. But don't buy into everything. We gonna be all right. All right.
It's gonna be all right.
It's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Eddie G and the Bulldogs, thank you so much. Excuse me for the super chat contribution. We appreciate it. Listen, guys, do not change that dial. Number 1, hit the damn like button. Number 2, make sure you guys are having a damn good time in this chat right here that's going on, because they having a great time. Christy's back and says, super fun guys on Discord. We talk sports, music, movies, food. It's awesome. We talk weight loss. If
Wayne's around, there's going to be conversations on food.
It's conversations on food. I mean, listen, you got people, John, in there posting about beet pie. What the, like, I
don't know about that.
Let's get back to Ayuk. Mimi B with the super chat contributions. He says, Ayuk is not only an animal. He challenged Shanahan and Warner, backed it up. I'm adding that within there with 1,000-yard season, and he stays healthy. It would be a huge mistake to trade him. She's going back onto the takes when we're talking about trading him. I agree with Mimi B 100%. John, what are your thoughts on that?
I think we have a really cool experiment happening in the AFC North with the Bengals, right? Because they're in the process, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow. So we're about to see another team that's title contender, right? Back-to-back at AFC championships. We're going to see, and they're ahead of us on this timeline, how they can balance paying 2 wide receivers and a quarterback. We have a lot more time than they do before we have to make that decision with Brock or Trey. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that pans out for them. I want to see how that's going to play.
Yeah, I'm putting a poll in the chat right now, guys. Make sure you guys go ahead and participate in that poll while we go ahead and get the mock draft. We're going to do a 5-round mock draft. All right, let me go ahead and get rid of the bracket.
Here we go, man.
All right, this is going to be interesting. Now, this is John's version of the mock draft with your boy Breezie. So this is going to be interesting, okay? Because I'm gonna give him some pushback
I like it.
here. And I know it's his. He can own it and all that good stuff. There's going to be a little pushback. So let me go ahead and blow the screen up. We're going to go ahead and put that on, slow, a little bit slower so we can have some time. John can trade. John can do whatever he wants, but there's going to be pushback. I could trade. I can tell you that right now. Now, when I'm on his show, he gets to give me the pushback, which I don't really like pushback. Now, you ever notice that? I don't
Yeah.
like. All right, John. Are we starting the draft?
Yeah, let's freaking go, man. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Now, here's my biggest issue with PFF, and I love PFF, and maybe you know
see the
something.
goddamn players. I know.
You can't see who's available.
I know.
So if you pause and want to trade up, that's where it gets weird.
I put pause because you said pause, but I don't know.
No, you go. Keep rolling. We ain't trading up in the first round.
Oh, John is a G.
We ain't trading up in the first round. That's just not the way we're going to build this roster. We got 11 picks. I want to use a lot of them. You're kind of seeing all the guys that are going off the clock. Kaylee Ringo, Georgia went high. Mozzie Smith. Are you a big Mozzie Smith guy?
I am a big Mozzie Smith guy. I actually would love Mozzie Smith to be on this roster, but it's not going to happen. I'll take any one of those Michigan defensive front guys.
They build up front, bully ball, man, hardball. That's what he does.
And you know what they're built to do, John? Stop the run.
Yeah. Yep. It's a common theme in successful NFL defenses. You stop the run. The terminology that would be used by Ryans is you have to earn the right to rush the passer.
Right.
There goes Cody Mock.
Somebody was saying, I know. I'm kind of sad. Just curious. I paused it in round 3 because this is where we're drafting. I'm not sure if you wanted to move up in round 3, but
I'm still saying no, not at this point. Pick 66 going to cost a lot to get that high. If the Niners were to trade up, I think 75 would be the point. So another 10 picks or so. But again, it's hard to see who's there. I haven't seen Blake Freeland come off the board yet.
I didn't see him come off the board either. But like John said, we can't necessarily check. I just want to see where we're at 99. Who's right before us? I can see the Cardinals taking.
Ooh, I like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Who's going to take a tackle?
Yes. I can see that possibly happening and it'd be our rival. So do we need, the question is, John, do we need anything?
Nope.
There we go. And so now we're on the same page. And I know people out there are going to be like, what the fuck you mean we don't need it? We literally don't need any position. Right? You know,
even if tackle, I know somebody's screaming and they're like, oh, we need a tackle or we need an edge, right? Like you sign Matt Pryor, you've got Colton McKivitz, you've got Jalen Moore, you've got Nick Sakill, you've got Spencer Burford who could play tackle. You got a lot of bodies. Do I want an offensive tackle? Yes. Am I willing to sacrifice 3 dart throws for a 3rd round tackle that I know everybody loves Blake Freeland, who I think will go in the 2nd round? That dude, if you hated McGlinchey's play, you're not going to love Blake Freeland. I'm just telling you that right now because the biggest weaknesses that he has matched up with McGlinchey 100%.
100%. He plays way too high and he gets beat with power.
No sand in the pants.
There it is. So let's pass. Let's go ahead and resume the draft. We'll speed it up a little bit. All right.
I do like Luke Whippler, the center, even though I don't. Oh, there goes Blake Freeland. He went. Mim's gone. Yeah, it's going.
All right. Here we are. We're on the clock. Where's John going first?
So, man, Garrett Williams is there, the cornerback out of Syracuse. He is their highest, best player available.
Yeah.
I've seen him go very, very early. Now, if we look at 5'10", 192, that's the rough spot. I don't think it fits too great with what the Niners do. He can play inside, play outside, but I've got a 3rd round grade on him, not too high. Who are some names that stayed out to you? I see Carl Brooks there.
I see Carl Brooks. There's always running backs that we can take.
Always.
I like Isaiah McGuire, KJ Henry. Those would be good edge pieces. Christopher Smith, decent safety. Not sure if he'll fit the 49ers type of safety, be able to play both positions. I'm not sure if he's the guy.
His speed was a concern. Ran a 4.62.
Yeah.
I like him. His body type fits 5'11", 192. I mean, he fits what we do. Physical, all that stuff. Just the speed for a back end safety, that's not really his game. He's more of a Hufunga type.
There it is, and I feel like we have that. I don't know if you want to double up on the Hufunga type of.
I don't value safety very high. I'm similar to the 49ers. I know
Right.
you really, really like safety, but
Well, I would like the safety, right? So it's like
Mhm.
if there's the safety out, not there's a guy. If we're in the position of drafting and we needed the safety, like go get the guy.
Yeah.
But the 49ers have been figuring it out without having the guy. But just imagine if they get the guy at safety opposed to a guy at
Mhm.
the safety. Where you want to go with this? Do you want to go
Let's
with the
look at
best player?
edge and tackle. Let's look at edge and tackle because I think those are the two biggest needs. So let's just see what's there. Um, and then we'll go from there.
All right. So we're
Um,
going edge and interior defensive tackle or offensive tackle.
uh, both of those two, I think. But let's look at edge here. Isaiah McGuire, Niners met with him. Not sexy, but just a solid player. KJ Henry, man, I feel like these two guys are always there. I don't like either of them too much. I remember when Mose was on here, he was like, no, he was out. And I don't think that the third round is the spot for edge. I really,
It's
really
not
don't.
because look at the value you can get later on in the draft. You can get a Zach
Exactly.
Harrison. He's a workhorse from Ohio State. He wasn't a guy that did Chase Young or Nick Bosa type of numbers, but he was still productive and he doesn't take plays off. And if you're gonna have an edge out there, you need an edge like that. I like Jose Ramirez out of Eastern Michigan. You want a guy that can get in the backfield. He can get in the backfield. I watched the
Yeah.
play, John, where not only did he stop the running back, like the handoff, the running back, he still sacked the quarterback on the same play. So
He's
it's like he
quick, man.
tackled the running back and the quarterback at the same damn time. Uh, Good speed, big guy out there on the edge. I like Jose Ramirez out of Eastern Michigan, smaller school. Thomas Nkum is another guy that I like on this list. I don't think they need.
I don't like third round here. I don't
Yeah.
like it.
Let's
I
go.
just don't think the value's there.
Where do you want to go? Interior,
Offensive tackle.
offensive tackle. Again, I don't think the value
Ugh,
is here.
it's bad. They're gone. They're
Yeah,
all gone. So
yeah.
I'm not touching those. So now it's just moved to let's look at best players available, guys that can make this team, make this roster. Let's check out wide receivers. Because again, the 49ers draft for a year ahead. Ray
Yes.
McLeod, Juwan Jennings, both expiring contracts. So I think that this is a spot. Ooh, Trey Palmer's there, who
I
I
like
love Trey Palmer. But again, if you're building through Brock Purdy, you're not drafting Trey Palmer. He's a vertical threat only. Speed guy. You got Danny Gray.
That's
I
why I
love
like
Trey Palmer, but
if I'm getting a guy to build, excuse me, from Brock Purdy, I'm looking a little bit deeper down here. Bryce Ford Wheaton would be a guy.
no
He does have
value.
the speed to take the top off the D, but
Yeah,
he plays in the slot. He can play everywhere. He wins all of his battles.
I like
So
him.
that would be the guy. BFW. I like Xavier Hutchinson. He doesn't drop the ball, guys. Met with him at the Senior Bowl. Really cool kid. Literally doesn't drop the ball, and he goes up and gets it. I'm
I've
surprised
got a fourth round on him. Now,
Ronnie
there's a
Bell is
lot of
here.
guys. Okay, in most of
Out of
my mock
school, okay?
drafts, I take a wide receiver in the third round because there are just so many cats right there. I
Yeah.
think one will be there in the fifth round. Um, let's go check out. Let's do running backs. I know somebody's cussing right now. I just want to see if one of my running backs fell that I'm in love with.
See, Tajay Spears is right there. That would be the guy. Deuce
That's
Vaughn is
your
another
guy. I've
guy.
got a third round grade on him.
Yep. Deuce Vaughn would be another guy. Roshan
Roshan, I
Johnson looked really
love.
good at the combine, bro.
They look really good.
Looked
Really good.
really good. Eric Gray ran a slow 40 at his not slow, but it wasn't fast enough at his pro day. Here's the guy that okay. So I've watched film on Israel Abanaconda. Okay.
We just
And
ran a 4.3 yesterday or 2 days ago at his
it
pro
was
day.
like a 4.37 or something like that, right? Like a four. It was hot. It was quick.
Yeah, I like him. Not in the third round. All right, let's check corner. We're almost done checking these spots. I got a couple ideas in my head.
So Garrett Williams would be the top rated corner.
Ooh, hold on just a second there,
Like
my friend.
Kelly up there. You can
Now, Jacorian
get
Bennett.
fast.
Speed. 5'11". This dude is unbelievable. He was on Bruce Feldman's Freaks list, 22.9 miles per hour GPS tracked. He's incredible. He is the prototypical corner build. If you look at the 49ers quarters, they're all almost 6 foot 200 pounds. He could play all 5 safety positions or DBs.
DBs. Yeah.
He could do them all. So if I'm picking right now, Jacorian Bennett, top of my list. Dude ran a 4.340. He had a
Done.
40-inch vertical. If I'm picking, Jacorian Bennett.
Jacorian Bennett is
Love
drafted.
it.
That's a done. That's a done deal. You won't get no argument there from me. All right, you're back on the clock. Raiders went with Schoonmaker, tight end. Want to go check out some tight ends in the third
Yeah.
round? All right, here we go. So again, Zach
Gosh.
Kuntz, Davis Allen. Guys, Davis Allen, I'm not sure about his blocking, but man, is he an offensive threat. Like
He
he would be
big
a
too, man.
weapon. Kind of like a poor man's Kyle Pitts. I wouldn't even say poor man, but he gets open on every play. He finds a way to get open. Guess where? Across the middle. Sounds
Yeah, he
familiar,
big.
right?
Niners met with him too.
They did. Will Mallory, speedier tight end. It's a bunch of guys
Now,
out here. Brent
you've
Strange.
got my highest tight end available is Josh Weil out of Cincinnati.
He's there.
I have a 3rd round grade on him. Niners met with him 6'6", 248. He could do everything. Very smooth route runner. Still developing as a blocker, but man, he is mean. Like he has the pissed off attitude that you love. Pass pro, he's great in. Run blocking, good in. No flaws in his game. I put on there he will be every single team's big board. There's not one team that will not like Josh Weil.
Okay.
If I was going tight end right now, Josh Wiles at the top of my list. I got a 3rd round grade on him, and I'm pretty high on him. I'm just going to be honest. So there's a lot of good tight ends though. That's the problem
a
with
lot
this
of good
class.
tight ends in this particular draft.
Oh, is there a trade? Let's check the trade.
Let's check out some of the trades. So
Colts pick at 106. We're at 101 right now. So let's do this.
We could trade back.
I want their 106 and 138. And we're going to give up our 101 and 173. Oh, take 173 off. Scroll down a little bit. Let's try 216. I don't think they'll do it. Yeah, I'll do the 173. I'll do that. I'll drop back 5 spots now to jump up 30 spots later. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I like this trade. I'm totally cool with this.
Let's do it.
So we're still got our 11 picks, but we're just diversifying the portfolio on the value. So now they get a pick, I assume, and then we'll get the next pick. They took Trey Palmer. Wasn't a fit for us.
All right. So let's go. What do you want to address? You did talk about getting a tight end. They don't have him valued that high. I don't care if that's the guy.
Yeah, we could probably wait and still get a stud tight end. Let's go look at the defensive tackles.
Now, a lot of people are going to be like, why are we getting a defensive tackle?
It's not the biggest need, but man, Ojamo's there. Going down.
I want your guy.
You like Ojamo better.
I like Ojamo better, but I feel like they fulfilled that void with all the players they signed. So let's go get a space guy. That's your guy. I like
Coburn. He had a terrible combine. I think he's going to fall. Jared Clark fits your mold. The big dude. It's a little early for him.
It is.
So I'm going to say let's check another position. Let's go interior offensive line. Why not? Build in the trenches.
Maybe
see what's there.
A Juice Scruggs or something.
Ooh, Scruggs to be. Voorhees.
See, I would take Voorhees here. You're red shirting him anyway.
ACL guy.
And then, but you're red shirting him anyway. So you get him. You put him on the NFI list, right? He's not going to play this year. You'll be able to do more and add another player. Like, you know what I mean? Like on your roster. I'm just thinking like that.
Now, let me ask you this, Wayne, because I see Olusegun from Michigan. I have a 2nd round grade on him. Am I insane?
Don't like him, man.
You don't like him?
I don't.
Man, I loved his tape.
I don't like him. I didn't like what I saw from the Senior Bowl. I think that's kind of like what it was. I was watching him get beat a lot. And if you're getting beat a lot by all the All-Stars, I mean, what is it going to be like when you get into the NFL?
Touche. All right. That's what I needed to hear.
And see, people will be like, oh my gosh, he's not high on the Michigan guy at this position. No, but I would take tackle or guard Ryan Hayes. I would go get him and develop him.
All right, let's jump to it. I'm going to say no on these guys. I'm not feeling it for that 3rd round spot. Carl Brooks is sitting there.
He's sitting here. I say we go grab him.
I do too, man.
Let's do it.
Defensive tackle, I think, is his best spot, but the Niners move guys inside and out
Yes.
and all those things. So
Perfect
I'm
timing.
fine with that.
And look,
Now,
we're at 106. So we
no
moved
tight
up.
ends went.
Yep. We moved up.
Jonathan Mingo went, though. He's one of my
I
favorite
know.
wide
But they
receivers.
drafted him high.
Yeah. I'd be fine taking Mingo in the 3rd round. I'd have no problem.
I do want to get a wide receiver here.
Okay. Let's keep scrolling through these names real quick because they're you like Xavier Hutchinson. He's fun. Raheem Jarrett.
Yeah.
I love Raheem Jarrett.
Another fast guy.
Another fast guy. Dontavian Wicks. Niners met with him. He's the Ray replacement out of Virginia.
So I like Ronnie Bell as the Ray replacement.
Oh, okay.
Because
yeah,
you want a guy that can win, that will win in the slot like on every single play. And on top of that is a big pass catching type of wide receiver, right? So even though he might be listed short, he can go up and grab any type of pass that's really coming his way. It's kind of like a playmaker. I know he ran a 4.5, but that's not how he plays on the football field. And you get return ball out of Ronnie Bell. So he can actually be a returner in the NFL if that's something that you're looking to replace Ray. So haven't watched film on Dontavian Wicks, so I do know Ronnie Bell.
I've got a 4th round grade on Wicks. I have a 5th round grade on Bell. I like Bell, but I'm not like in love with Bell. So if we're going Bell, let's wait. Let's wait on the wide receiver then.
Okay.
So let's jump back over. Let's go check tight ends. I want a tight end. I mean, I think, man, Josh Wiles there, Davis Allen's there. There's a lot of dudes there. I love Josh Wiles. I love Josh Wiles.
Let's get your guy. All right. Now, this is a 5-round mock draft, guys. So we're not doing the full draft. All right. So we're in the 5th round. All right.
There we
go. We're gonna be drafting. Now, there's Deuce Vaughn is there, running back. Listen, Ronnie Hickman is there as a safety. I feel like he'll fit.
I want an edge piece here. But yeah, I like some of those guys. Like 5th round. I'm just like, this is edge.
You're planning on using Carl Brooks as an interior guy. I love it. I want
Yaya's there.
You like Yaya. I like Jose. All right.
Yaya, I've seen Yaya go in the 2nd round in a lot of drafts.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah, if this is the board and how it fell, I'm taking Yaya 100%.
We'll go Yaya
it's
from
not
Louisville.
Even close. Edge, Louisville.
All right, we got 2 more picks, 155.
Let's go check out tackle.
We've dressed the edge. You want to go check out the tackles?
Yes, sir.
It's time.
Ryan Hayes, a little too early.
It is. You could probably
like Carter Warren.
Yeah, I like McClendon Curtis too.
Fun. Yeah, I'm not liking tackles.
I feel like Nick Saldiveri would be the guy because he can play both. He can play guard and tackle. I just feel like he'll be the guy that the Niners would draft. But you can wait. Let's go.
I think we're going to wait. It just hasn't hit. Safety's there.
So
Did we get our wide receiver? Now let's get a wide receiver. Now let's go grab our wide receiver.
You really don't like Ronnie Hickman, huh?
Nah, not too much. I don't value the safety position. I do like him.
But it's the 5th round. It's time.
It is the 5th round. But I have a much higher value on even Ronnie Bell. He wouldn't be my top wide receiver on this list, but I like Ronnie Bell, and I think he fits what we need.
Well, my top wide receiver on this list is Bryce Ford Wheaton.
Oh, let's go Bryce then.
Let's go Bryce. Let's get him.
Yes.
Let's get him. All right, you get to pick this last guy with no pushback from your boy Breezie whatsoever.
Let's scroll down the best available list. Just right there. Yeah, just scroll down. We got a quarterback there. Man, Jared Clark's there. We already got our DT. Keep going.
Okay.
I like him. I do like him. Jake Hader. Oh, no, I'm double dipping at edge, baby. I'm sticking with Jose Ramirez.
Yeah!
You gave me power. I'm going to send it back.
It's done. I can't lift my arms because today was a weird day in the gym, but it's done. I can stretch them out. That's about it. They won't go high up. I know they didn't give us an F on this Josh Wiles. Look at the trade.
I don't care. That's my guy, man. That's a rush crush right there. I don't care what anybody else. You know what I'm going to go do after this just to respond to PFF? I'm going to be, my next film breakdown is going to be over Josh Wiles on my Patreon. That's happening. So you bring it, Patreon. I'll show you. I'll show you.
I love it. Guys, make sure you check out John on his Patreon. I think that's what the breakdowns are going to be. All right. So make sure you guys go ahead and support him over there. John, this has been a fun show. Fridays are always good. And they let my weekends be even better. once I get off the show with you.
I do have to just say, I don't think next Friday I'm going to be able to be live. I'm taking the kiddo skiing for a spring break.
So John is fired, and don't worry. I'm gonna let you.
We can do it earlier in the week though, if you got time. We can squeeze it in another time.
Yeah, we could try that. But if I gotta stick to the Friday.
I feel you.
Friday
I'm
theme.
sorry.
We can still do a different show. We could hit him on a Thursday show or something if you got time. But I'm gonna make you give me a sub, because what I learned in this industry is if you can't show up when you're supposed to, you have to make sure you have the fill-in ready and available to go.
I got you. I got you.
All right. That's what I like to hear. John, has been real. Guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Did we miss anything? I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I don't believe we did. What a great mock draft. John, if Zenni Brown is available at nope, because you don't value the safety.
I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with that.
Would you
in
move
the third
up to
round?
Zenni Brown?
No. I ain't gonna trade up for a safety.
If he's at 99, that's the guy.
Yes, I like Zenni Brown. I like his brother too. Twin brother, Canadians. Chase. I mean, good gosh, both just athletic freaks.
Yeah, they are. And you passed over him, and we didn't draft a running back, but guys, we got like 4 more picks.
I'm cool with that.
All right, guys, great show. I did want to end on this question from Dynamite Dave. Says, "Hey, John, did you really say that fans rip on Kyle is crazy? Please tell me you ain't one of them Kyle lovers, man."
Oh, yes, I am. He's the top 5 coach of the NFL. Does he deserve criticism? Yes. But the idea of like firing Kyle Shanahan for somebody else is just asinine. I mean, he's lost so many front office and more coaches in the NFL than anybody else because everybody wants a piece of this scheme and offense. And he lost everybody and still produced. Yeah, Kyle's incredible. Do I like everything he does? I do not. Criticism is always appropriate, but people talking about firing Kyle Shanahan after 3 out of 4 NFC championships, get out of here, man. I'm just totally, that's insane to me.
Look, Kyle shouldn't be going anywhere no time soon.
No,
period.
No.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they offer him another extension. Listen, thank y'all so much.
I would sign him to a 20-year extension right now if I could.
Just do it. Just do it.
I want him to be a 49ers coach for life.
They've proven he can draft well. He's proven he can develop players. He's proven they can win games. The only thing that they got to continue to have is healthy quarterbacks. And look how they continue to add and build this team, right? They keep the team so superstar status that possibly they could still try to win these games, even if they had a third string mediocre type of quarterback in here. Could they win a playoff game? Well, that's something else, but winning games and getting there is the key. Shout out to Peachy, who's out there doing a hell of a job producing the show behind the scenes with all the stuff she's putting out there, the links inside the chat. Peachy, I appreciate you. Just wanted you to know that. Everybody have a great weekend and stay up faithful. Let's go ahead and get this done, man. Super Bowl is ours this year, like Christy Marie said. Peace out. Thanks for watching, y'all.